Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me for my Try It Out Tuesday. Today we're trying out a Lawn Fawn stamp set. It's called Let's BBQ. I thought it would be perfect for Father's Day or a masculine card. In fact, all month long for my Try It Out Tuesdays, I'll be making some masculine cards. Just for Father's Day, and also masculine cards are a little bit tricky for me, so I thought we would do it all month long. Now I also picked up this die set. It's a 4-piece die set from Pinkfresh Studio. It's the Essentials die set, and it's super neat. There's 2 stitched panels in here, and then there's the inside piece that you can create a real thin frame. Now I have stitched rectangle dies that I love and I recommend, but and I can create frames with those, but not thin ones. And so that's why I picked these up. And hidden on the inside of the package was a magnet, and I thought that was pretty neat. But if you're looking for a panel set or a die set, I think this is a great starter set because it creates perfect panels for A2 size cards. Okay, with that being said, we are going to do some stamping. I'm going to stamp with Memento ink on Nina 80-pound cardstock. We're using just an acrylic block to stamp our BBQ. Masculine cards for me are a little bit difficult to create, and you can't go wrong with the BBQ. So that's why I fell in love with the stamp set, and the sentiments in here are just too cute. After we stamp the utensils, we are going to take the little condiment container. We're going to stamp one for ketchup and then one for mustard. And there's a little flame. We're going to stamp that as well. We're going to light up our BBQ. And then for our BBQ elements, we're going to create some hot dogs. So I'll stamp the ready to eat hot dog here, and then also the one we're going to grill. I'll stamp one of those. Now we're going to do some coloring. Now for the coloring, I just colored in the BBQ today just to save a little bit of time, but it's pretty basic coloring. I'm just using some cool grays to color in my BBQ, starting off with a C6. We'll do a little bit of shading, and then we're going to take a C3, and then we're going to add that. I think the C6, C3, and C1 create a perfect metal look for a BBQ. So those are the colors I'll use today. A few years back, I had bought my husband a BBQ, a really nice one, and he didn't seem too thrilled about it. He has one already, and it is rusted, and it is a sight to see on our patio, and he keeps going back to that BBQ. I don't know why. It has a smoker on it. Maybe that's what it was. But so this card will be for him. Maybe he'll get the hint to use the newer one. I would love to get rid of that thing, boy. For the inside of my BBQ, we're going to light it up. So I'm using some red markers. Starting off with the R59. I'm going to do a little shading with that. And then I'm going in with my RV29. It's an orangey red. And then I'm going to do the highlight with my R14. So after I have everything colored in, I fussy cut them out. I know dies are available, and I'll list everything I used today down below in case you guys want to check it out. But now we're going to create a frame. So I'm taking the largest 2 dies and layering them together. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Now this creates a frame that is thin, and like I said, I couldn't get this thin of a frame with my stitched rectangle dies, but it's a little less than 1/8 of an inch. So I thought this would be something a little bit different. Since it is a thin frame, I'm bringing in some Dairies foam strips. These are great for shaker cards, but also for thin frames. I'm going to go around my entire frame with those foam strips, and then we're going to go ahead and place this on our card base. Card base today is an A2 size card base. And you can see, the size of the stitched die, the largest stitched die, is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So that's my go-to panel size. But if you add the inside piece, it creates a thin frame. And then the smaller set, The largest piece is 3.5 inches, is a little larger than 3.25 inches by 4.5 inches. So perfect panel sizes. Okay, I grabbed a piece of like a charcoal gray and white striped piece of pattern paper. I just had this in my scraps and I kind of angled it to where it looks like a tablecloth. I'm going to place that towards the bottom. When I first seen this, it reminded me of a little bandana that when we took our little poodle to the groomers. We don't have her no longer. We lost her. I had her since I was in my 20s, my goodness. But that's what that little tablecloth reminded me of. The little bandana that she came home in whenever we took her to the groomers. But anyway, we're going to do some ink blending with some Distress Oxide ink. Now, this is Hickory Smoke, and I wanted to create a smoke cloud in the background of our barbecue. So this color was perfect. And I'm kind of just intensifying the color right above my pattern paper and then kind of spreading it out. This way it looks like smoke's coming from the barbecue. We're going to add a couple strips of, not strips, foam squares behind our barbecue. But before we adhere it, I wanted to stamp our sentiment. Lots of cute sentiments in this stamp set. I was going to go with "You're Smokin'," but I think that's what it says. Yeah, it was super cute. But I thought with the hot dogs, I'll stamp "Relish Today." Super neat. I just stamped that with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Now I'm going to add some tape behind this panel. We're going to go ahead and set this on the inside of our frame. So this is going to be directly on our card base, but that frame is just going to give us a little extra dimension. Okay, now we get to build our little scene. We'll take our barbecue and we'll add that first. Again, we'll put that right above the concentrated area of our Oxide ink there. And I'm not pressing down just yet, because if I press down, the foam squares, I mean, they adhere really well. So if I don't press down, I can kind of play with the placement before I commit to it. Okay, now we're going to add the condiment bottles. We have the ketchup and the mustard. I'm going to directly adhere the mustard to my background panel, kind of tucking it behind the barbecue. And then for my ketchup, I'm going to add a piece of foam tape behind here, and we'll place that right next to it. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere our plate. We're just going to use tape runner to adhere that. We're not going to add any foam adhesive, but we are going to add that foam adhesive to the hot dog. I colored in the there's a little swirly strip. You can add ketchup or mustard to the hot dog, so I added mustard. Okay, now I'm going to crisscross my utensils on that very bottom corner, starting off with spatula. I want to say I'm going to add that just using my tape runner, and then we'll go ahead and add our little fork, but this one we're going to pop up with some foam tape. And I just used the leftover strip of that Dairy's foam strips there. Okay, now there's a little question or exclamation point in the stamp set. I thought we would add that to the end of our sentiment. And then now we get to add bells and whistles. Masculine cards are a little tricky for bells and whistles. I always want to add sequins or something, but I did use my glossy accents and went over the hot dog mustard and then also the lids of my condiment jars there. And then I'm bringing in some Nuvo glitter drops. This is Golden Sunset, and it makes the perfect kind of like fiery grill look in your barbecue. So I'm adding that just below the hot dog and then also to the flames. So it doesn't really look like glitter. It just looks like the grill's on fire. And then I did color in 2 extra hot dogs, and I just crisscrossed them on the inside of my card. That's my card for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a lovely day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.